Hey, it's Matt, your average gamer, and for this video, we're going to be jumping into my top 6 intelligence builds. These are going to be the most powerful and really the best intelligence builds, pure intelligence builds in Elden Ring. At number 6, we're going to start with a Comet and Shard Spiral combo. You can actually see the buffing order on screen for most of these. It's pretty simple for the majority of them. I also went for 50 Vigor, but I'll explain stats in a little while. Overall, though, we've kind of removed some of the buffs for certain ones of these and went for around 80 intelligence instead to get more damage, to make the buffing orders more simple, because being a mage is just easy no matter what. You don't really need a ton of buffs to be a mage. You can be an incredibly powerful mage simply by just running the right build. It's one of the most powerful ways to run a build in Elden Ring. Also want to mention real quick that there's 2 weapon builds in this, but everything that I use is pure intelligence scaling, so the ashes on them will be pure intelligence scaling, as well as the builds we're doing. For strength intelligence and dex intelligence, if you want to see those in separate videos, make sure to comment below so I know. I also decided to use the Divine Beast Helm for a couple of these and a little bit of the Rakshasa set for extra damage and some help with stats, because the Divine Beast Helm will give me the extra strength I need to be able to use the Jellyfish Shield. So for this one, we're using the powerful and chargeable Comet. Of course, later in this video is a direct upgrade to that, and we're also using Adula's Moonblade, and I'm going to show off Shard Spiral shortly here too. It makes a great combination to use all 3 of those for different situations. Also, because I'm doing a New Game Plus 7 build video for this upcoming Sunday, definitely check that out too. You're not going to want to miss that one. It's a pretty big video. I decided to do these 6 on New Game Plus 7 as well. We're currently on Journey 41, if you can believe it or not, on my character Banished on Xbox. Journey is actually going to appear in Sunday's video, along with 15 more builds that are tuned to make the best of New Game Plus 7. I can't wait to jump into that one. Back to being a mage, though, it's incredibly easy. Lusette's staff does cost more FP, but the scaling is really high, especially on a pure intelligence build, and the Jellyfish Shield will boost our damage, additionally by another 12% or so since it's been nerfed. Let's jump into equipment, stats, everything you need to know for this powerful mage build. And we have Lusette's Glintstone Staff plus 10. We have the Golden Vow, Ash of War, and a Dagger. We have the Jellyfish Shield, Divine Beast Helm, part of the Rakshasa set, and Champion Bracers on. We have Godfrey Icon, Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Graven Mask Talisman, Graven School Talisman. And then we have the Magic Tier, Bloodsucking Crack Tier. And then as a body buff, we're using Boiled Crab to get some defense. I'm kind of ruling out some of the stuff in terms of Faith, so we don't have to put a ton of points into Faith and can go for 80 intelligence. We're using Terra Magica, Comet, Shard Spiral, Rolana's Full Moon, and Adula's Moonblade. Is what I meant, but those are easy to mix up. We're going to show off Shard Spiral real quick. So Shard Spiral can actually pierce through the bigger targets in the game, and it's really helpful against big bosses. You can run this with the exact same build that we just showed previously and get a lot of damage out of it. It's really helpful for some of the large targets in the game due to its piercing ability. And you're going to see at the end here me stack up a whole bunch of damage. I think around, like, I don't know, 10,000 or so with a couple of these. As it pierces through, it continues to do damage. It's great for big targets. Check this one out if you're running a mage build. And at number 5, we have the Darkmoon Greatsword. Before we jump into this one, though, I want to mention that for Comet and Comet Azur, with Azur's Helm, you can actually boost the damage on that. I think it ends up costing more FP. I'm not sure if there's a downside with that. The Divine Beast Helm, though, ended up allowing me to get to better stats. Now back to the Darkmoon Greatsword. We're using Golden Vow, Halashaburi, Terra Magica, Drinking Our Tear, and we're using the Jellyfish Shield as well, because you can buff this one up a lot. Now, it used to be a lot better than it is now, though. There was a substantial nerf to the Darkmoon Greatsword. The damage isn't as good as it once was, unfortunately, especially the poise damage. That was significantly nerfed as well. The weapon used to be incredibly OP. Now it's just very good. It's still quite good, can be buffed up for some pretty good damage, but it's not as good as it was when the game launched after its nerfs. Let's jump into equipment. And the Darkmoon Greatsword plus 10 is our main weapon. Of course, we have the Staff of the Great Beyond, and we have the Jellyfish Shield. That allows us to use incantations and sorceries. We have part of the Spellblade set on, Divine Beast Helm, Banished Chess Piece. We have the Godfrey Icon, Magic Scorpion Charm, Erdtree's Favorite plus 2. We have the Shard of Alexander. And then for our tiers, we're going to be using the Magic Tier again, the Bloodsucking Crack Tier. We were using Sleeping Pots there for any of the Godskin duos. That's hugely helpful. Let's jump into stats. We have 50 Vigor, 20 Mind, 27 Endurance, 20 Strength, 21 Dexterity, 55 Intelligence, 33 Faith, Terra Magica, Golden Vow, Halashaburi, and Blessing's Boon. And at number 4, we have Death's Poker. Now, the Ash of War and Death's Poker is much like the Darkmoon Greatsword, caps around 60 intelligence or so, and of course, it's all intelligence scaling, much like the Darkmoon Greatsword. That's why it fits this. So, for this Ash of War, it is a little bit long. We're going to buff it up similarly to the Darkmoon Greatsword, aside from the fact that we can't use the Jellyfish Shield, and the Ash of War will give us a lot of magic damage, as well as Frost build-up. This weapon is actually incredible. Yeah, it's really powerful on the Ash of War. It's just a little bit slow. It would rank higher if it was just quicker. Of course, that's the trade-off. There's a lot of situations with faster bosses. It's not great against Millennia, for example. You'll have difficulty with her using Death's Poker. Phase 2 is a little bit easier, though, because she stays in the same spot more. Now, back to this, though. Yeah, a lot of Frost build-up, a lot of magic damage. Definitely slow on the Ash of War, so it's going to take you a second to get used to. You have two options, one of which will leave a Frost Trail that will have magic damage and Frost build up continuously, and the other one, which is an awesome explosion, and that just goes for pure damage. Of course, there's Frost build up with any of the Ash of War, and any boss that could take Frost, honestly, this will proc Frost on them because it just has so much build up. Surprised to me that it was never nerfed, but it truly is incredible. It's an amazing weapon, and you could do a ton of damage with this one, especially when it's buffed up. Let's jump into equipment and stats. And we have Death's Poker plus 10. We have any staff for Terra Magica, any seal for buffs. You can check out our armor set here. It's part of the Tree Sentinel set on. We also have the Black Wolf mask on randomly. Dragon Crest Great Shield Talisman. We have the Magic Scorpion Charm. Erdtree's Favor plus 2. We have the Shard of Alexander. Once again, we're built for a little bit of defense here too. Magic Tier, Bloodsuck, and Crack Tier. That way you don't get one hit. I was on New Game plus 7. We have 50 Vigor, 55 Intelligence, similar stats to the last build, the Darkmoon Greatsword. We're just not using the Divine Beast Helm. We have Terra Magica, Golden Vow, Hal Shabiri, Blessing's Boon, and we have a very good amount of poise at 72. And at number 3 on here, we have a Carian sorcery build. Now, these sorceries are incredible. What makes them really OP, though, is Carian Slicer. It's one of the best sorceries in the entire game. Probably the most damage per FP ratio in the entire game. It's truly incredible how much damage you can get out of it. Kind of comparable to the Darkmoon Greatsword that way. Doesn't cost a lot of FP and can absolutely shred. We're also adding in Carian Grandeur here too. Now you could add in Carian Sovereignty from the DLC. I just didn't have it on this character, and they're very similar. You get the follow-up attack, but you can build around it the exact same way. Nothing really changes except the Ash of War. And then we're back to Carian Slicer, which does amazing damage. And now, a while back I did, actually probably not a while back, it was probably like 2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, I did a Carian Knight build. I used the Knight set for that, the Carian Knight set, but it only had 40 poise, very minimal resistances. So once again, I went for a mix of the Tree Sentinel set and Rakshasa's armor for good poise and a little bit of defense. Let's jump into equipment. We have Lucette's Glintstone Staff in our main hand plus 10. We have the Golden Vow Ash of War. We have Carian Grandeur on a dagger. It's a Misery Corday, I believe. We have the Carian Glintstone Staff in our offhand for the boost. Part of the Rakshasa set and Tree Sentinel set. Godfrey Icon, Magic Scorpion Charm, Graven Mask Talisman, Shard of Alexander. For our tiers, we had the Magic tier as well as the Bloodsuck and Crack tier. We're using Boiled Crab for some defense and Market Shackle there to stun the mini-boss. Let's jump into stats. And for stats, we have 50 Vigor, 23 Mind, 27 Endurance, 16 Strength, 14 Dexterity, 80 Intelligence. We're using Terra Magica, Carian Slicer, Carian Greatsword, and Carian Glint Blades. I wanted to show off real quick the stackable damage on Carian Slicer one more time. Check this out. That's 4 hits, 5 hits, 6 hits was like 11,000, almost 12,000 damage, so that's pretty incredible. Definitely want to have this if you're a mage. Next up at number 2, Comet Azur. Or Comet Azur, if that's how you say it. Anyways, we're going to use this as much as we can, basically, because we have the infinite FP tier, of course. We're not doing a ton of buffs, just the Golden Vow Ash of War and the Jellyfish Shield. We're drinking our tier, of course, which has the infinite FP tier in it, as well as the Magic tier, and we're able to get a ton of damage out of this one. Let's see how much damage we stack up here. I do end up getting hit at the end, but yeah, between 23 and 25,000 probably by the end of that. Yeah, that was pretty great. This was one that's always going to be reliable for bosses that kind of just stand there, but if bosses are mobile, it's really not as good. With that said, though, the damage can't be ignored because it's absolutely incredible and has one of the highest damage ceilings in the game. Let's jump into equipment. And we have Lucette's Glintstone Staff plus 10. Great scaling on this. We have the Golden Vow Ash of War on a dagger. We have the Jellyfish Shield. We have part of Rakshasa set, Divine Beast Helm, Champion Bracers on, Godfrey Icon, Magic Scorpion Charm, Graven Mask Talisman, Ritual Swords Talisman. We have the Magic tier, Cerulean Hidden tier, and we're using Boiled Crab once again to give our characters some defense. Let's jump into stats. And we have 50 Vigor, 23 Mind, 27 Endurance. We have 80 Intelligence. Once again, we have our Mage stats. You could use this kind of universally for any of the Mage builds on here. We have Terra Magica, Comet Azur, of course, and we hit 59 poise. And for the last one on here at number 1, this was fairly obvious. This is going to be Night Comet. This is a non-buffed up version of this build, and it still does incredible damage on Gideon here, who's also very easy, so this is probably not the best boss to show off in the world, but it does great damage to him, and it does great damage to everything. You've probably seen Night Comet by now a ton of times, so I didn't want an overly long clip either, and even without a ton of buffs, in 2 hits, we've got, I don't know, it's probably like 9,000 damage, and I think by the end, maybe like 14 or so. I'm not great at math. The first one did 3,600, so almost 3,700, which is pretty great. Not even a ton of buffs here, and Night Comet's still incredible. If you have 2 Staffs of Loss, that's a 60% boost. If you don't have 2, you could use Lucettes in one hand, and then the Staff of Loss in the offhand, or a Staff of Loss and a Jellyfish Shield works too. Of course, use the Divine Beast Helm with these same stats to get to that strength needed for the Jellyfish Shield. Kind of helps you out there in terms of stats. Let's jump into equipment and stats. Now that we're speaking of them. All right, apparently we're going to heal up first. Let's jump into equipment. And we have 2 Staves of Loss. You only need the one upgraded that you're casting with, plus 25. We have the Golden Vow Ash Shabor, Solitude Chest Piece on, and part of Rakshasa set. We hit 76 poise, Godfrey Icon, Magic Scorpion Charm. We have the Graven Mask Talisman. We also have the Graven School Talisman. For our tiers, we're using the Magic tier, Bloodsuck and Crack tier. Once again, for our body buff, I went for Boiled Crab. In case you get hit, you got some defense. We have 50 Vigor, 80 Intelligence, 23 Mind, 27 Endurance. Once again, our Mage stats again here. We have Terra Magica, the incredible and overly powerful Night Comet. Truly is very reliable. We mentioned we hit 76 poise too. Thanks for watching this one. Thanks for tuning in to my top 6 intelligence builds in Elden Ring. And there wasn't a lot added from Shadow of the Erdtree that I liked other than Carian Sovereignty, which you can add to the Carian Knight build. Be sure to sub if you're not subbed yet and you love Elden Ring content. If you plan on picking up Elden Ring Night Rain, don't forget to join the Discord in the pinned comment below. We're going to be getting groups together when it's out. I cannot wait for that. I will catch you guys in the next video.